This is not a complete list of techniques that are used by what I believe to be scammers. Here are some of the techniques that I have observed, that I've seen. First of all, you want to get in good with the cops. If you get in good with the cops, automatically you're going to have protection. Another thing is a lot of times these scammers are doing duplications of service. It's already being done, but they're figuring that the general public is not going to be able to figure this out. Another thing is they want to get volunteers. That way they sit back and collect all the money, and the other people, they do all the sweat. They make sure to get their names in the news and on TV, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're in a kickback to the news people and the newspaper people too. Because another thing is they will have shills, people that are working the crowd. Usually they're the ones that are the hand clappers. They're the ones that, because they know that the average person in there is, first of all, they are using good faith and believing that these cons have the best interest of the community at heart. So what happens is the people that are sincere who come to these meetings, they don't realize that they're part of the cons plan, because they become the pawns. Another thing these scam organizations will do, they'll use different words over and over and over, hoping that the average person is not going to be able to figure out. Examples would be like implement is the same thing, get something started. Coalition is the same thing as a group. Another thing is these cons will do, they'll have endless meetings. And if anybody suggests any quick solutions, they are cut off at the pass. There are cons, shills that are in there that will interrupt them and everything like that. I had one meeting of where they said, well, there's other people that need to talk. See, these cons, they are very well trained. And they are also very good at picking out possible sincere people that could wreck their gravy train. Another thing is they'll make sure that these cons are dressed better than anybody else in the room. They'll have three-piece suits on. They'll use credibility by having cops there, by having people from the school board there, by having people from the mayor's council. So that gives them their credibility. Another thing is they have handlers. That if somebody has a question that would trouble and possibly wreck their gravy train, they have people that'll cut them off. They have people that will come up and interrupt them and stuff like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have secret panic buttons in their shoes or something like that, that they can push so that there's somebody who comes over and interrupts them and diverts the person that wants to answer questions, wants their questions answered. And another thing is they'll use the cops. That if somebody is questioning their con, they'll have the cops as handlers. So this is only just part of what goes on. So that they get these big time grants, it's hard to find out what organizations are giving these grants. It's this so-called lead bullshit thing. I ain't never heard of that motherfucking thing before. All of a sudden it comes out of nowhere. The same person who claims for 2 years they've been trying to figure out how to ease the tensions between the cops and the citizens. It's very simple. My PDF oath arrest and prosecution, it's only one page. And it could very easily put a leash on the cops so they can't terrorize people, which they do when they know that they're of somebody who doesn't have any kind of connections in the community and doesn't have any kind of backing whatsoever. Another thing is these cons, they'll form an impressive sounding 501c3 or 501c4 corporation, so then that way they can get big time grants and millions of dollars. And another thing is, these cons will always have a list, a visitors list, and somebody who attends, so they can get the names and addresses and phone numbers of these people who attend this meeting and didn't realize that they are pawns in the meeting. So later on, what they'll do is they will call them up, or they'll write them a letter or something like that, or an email or something like that, and so they can get donations. And I'm sure one-to-one talk conversations, they probably say it would be preferred that you either wire the money or just give it in cash. Now, another thing is, they never want to talk about immediate overnight cures, because that right there would wreck their gravy train. They have endless feel-good meetings. Not only that, these cons, they'll travel around the country. It's called per diem. They'll get free meals. I'm not talking about at a greasy spoon where you got to fight the roaches. I'm talking about real nice restaurants. Kind of like Denny's or something like that, or, you know, in other words, along that range. Not only that, when they go to motels in their per diem, they don't go to the no-tell motel where there are all kinds of fights and cops are called all the time. No, they might go to places like Holiday Inn or something like that. In other words, they're not going to go to a no-tell motel. And then what they do is they disguise it under seminars of where they can take and do souvenir shopping, fuck the natives, get away, do whatever they want, do sightseeing and everything like that, and also perpetrate their cons in the areas where they go. They may even set up a conference room and have put the ads in the paper of where they con people in every area that they go in their so-called seminars. Here's another thing too. This is only just a small amount. Okay? The cops know who to fuck with. Okay? The cops, if somebody's in a three-piece suit, they are less likely to fuck with them. Here's the people that the cops fuck with. They fuck with people that are on public assistance. Examples would be food stamp people, people that are on women's care or anything like that, people that are in Section 8 housing, people that might have a previous criminal record. Cops know who to fuck with. Here in Panama City, Florida, God help you if you're a homeless person and you're walking down the street there with a pack there, even though they forget about that they swore an oath to support and defend the United States and the Florida Constitution, and the Fourth Amendment specifically states they can't fucking search a pack without a Fourth Amendment warrant. But then what they do is they use arrest pretexts. Oh, I smelt marijuana. Or they might do what's called a Terry stop, Terry versus Ohio. And then they'll claim that there was a weapon on them or something like that. Cops have a million different pretext ways that I don't even fucking begin to know. Another thing cops do is when they get on a scene, they automatically know who's got the gold. And that's how they decide their rules. Well, the PDF oath, arrest, and prosecution that I created, it's only a one-page download, makes it to where a cop has got to search for who started the trouble first. Not just putting blanket charges on people like throwing shit on the wall and see what'll stick and what won't stick. Now, what happens is, because first of all, if the cop ain't there in the first place, how the fuck does he decide who is the original troublemaker? How does he not know that the original troublemaker may have set up the innocent people or something like that to make it look like he's a victim or something like that? So there are a million different techniques that are used by the cops. The cops know if they look in the background, they see that the guy's driving a very expensive car or something like that, and he's dressed in shoes that are like $250 shoes or something like that, and he recognizes a Brooks Brothers $500 suit. He's not going to fuck with them people because he's automatically going to think, hey, if this person can throw away their money on a fucking $500 suit, fuck, he probably has a lawyer that's on his retainer's fee at all times. But you see, the PDF oath, arrest, and prosecution, poor man's Bill of Rights, all you gotta do is just go to any Google search engine, type in PDF oath, arrest, and prosecution. You'll see poor man's Bill of Rights. If you've got what's called a PDF reader on your phone, on your computer, which a lot of times are installed automatically on there, then what you can do is you can download this. It's only one page. You can forward it anywhere by email in this United States, as far as I know. And it could go even further than that. So the solutions are very, very simple and very quick and can be done overnight. But when I went to a meeting July 14th and also July 28th, 2016, attempted to give my quick solutions on how overnight we could stop the tension between the citizens and the cops. Man, I'll tell you what, I couldn't believe how fast I was shut down. Now, this is an audio recording here, regretfully. Well, on YouTube, you can go under Jimbikeman, Prevent Violence, and you can see the YouTube videos I put up and witness it for yourself.